What happened behind the gym doors destroyed my trust forever. I never thought a simple text message could change everything I believed about my marriage. But one night, scrolling through Emily's phone while she was in the shower, I stumbled upon something I wasn't meant to see, and it shattered my world. My name is Mark. I'm 34, an IT specialist living in a cozy Manhattan apartment with my wife, Emily. We've been together for 6 years, married for 3. From the outside, our life seemed perfect. We had good jobs, shared friends, and a routine that worked. I loved her fiercely, trusting her completely. I never imagined she had secrets. Emily worked as a sales manager at a fast-paced firm downtown. She was ambitious and charismatic, always juggling meetings and client dinners. I admired her drive, but over the past few months, something felt off. She started coming home late more often, claiming work emergencies and extra hours. At first, I didn't question it. I trusted her. But the late nights piled up. The calls and texts became more frequent and private. She'd leave her phone face down, something she never did before. When I tried to bring it up, she brushed it off, saying she was just tired or stressed. One evening, after another late night, I waited up. She came home around midnight, looking exhausted but distant. She barely said a word, retreating to the bedroom with her phone glued to her hand. The next day, I found myself growing anxious, the doubt creeping in. Then, one night while she was in the shower, I noticed her phone left unattended on the kitchen counter. My curiosity got the better of me. I picked it up and unlocked it, something I'd never done before. That's when I saw the messages from a man named Jake. Jake was her personal trainer from the gym. The texts weren't just casual check-ins or workout advice. They were flirtatious, filled with innuendos and promises to meet after work. She told him how stressful things were, and he responded with words that felt more intimate than a trainer should say. I froze, heart pounding. The woman I trusted was hiding a secret relationship with someone I barely knew. It wasn't just the texts. There were pictures of them together at a cafe, smiling close, looking like more than just trainer and client. I wanted to believe it was nothing, just harmless flirting. But the evidence whispered otherwise. That was the moment everything changed. The thin veil of trust between us was ripped away, and I was left staring at a truth I couldn't ignore. After that night, I couldn't stop thinking about those messages. The words Jake sent her echoed in my mind, making every little doubt explode into a full-blown suspicion. Emily's excuses suddenly felt hollow. The long hours at work, the tiredness, the sudden distance, it all pointed to something I was desperate not to see. I started paying closer attention. Emily's phone was never out of reach, but now she kept it locked with a password I didn't know. She deleted texts quickly, always slipping her screen away when I came near. The warmth between us faded, replaced by cold silences and uncomfortable tension. One evening, I asked her about Jake casually, pretending I wasn't worried. She smiled nervously, saying he was just a trainer helping her stay fit. But I caught the hesitation, the quick glance away. The way she said just a trainer felt like a lie. Then came the little details. A receipt from a fancy coffee shop I didn't recognize, with a timestamp from the middle of a workday. When I asked, she said it was from a meeting with a client. But I knew something was off. The place was nowhere near her office. Another time, I found a jacket in the closet that wasn't mine or hers. It smelled faintly of his cologne. She brushed it off as borrowed from a friend. But I wasn't convinced. The more I uncovered, the more my heart sank. I kept going through her phone when she wasn't around, piecing together fragments of conversations, glimpses of their secret meetings. One Saturday afternoon, I tracked her to a small gym downtown. I waited outside, hidden in the shadows, and saw her enter with a smile. Then Jake appeared, wrapping an arm around her waist. They whispered, laughed, and kissed quickly before she pulled away and rushed out. That moment broke something inside me. The woman I loved was betraying me with someone who was supposed to help her stay healthy. I didn't know what to do. Should I confront her? Should I wait? The questions tormented me day and night. I felt trapped between love and betrayal, unable to trust my own eyes. After that day at the gym, my mind was a mess. I kept replaying the image of Emily and Jake, so close, so familiar, like they belonged in a world I wasn't invited to. The weight of doubt pressed harder each day. Every small detail I had noticed suddenly screamed betrayal. The long hours at work, the increasingly frequent texts, the jacket smelling faintly of someone else's cologne, it all added up to a truth I dreaded facing. I tried to keep my distance, to pretend that I wasn't falling apart inside. But every time Emily walked into a room, my heart jumped with a mix of love and suspicion. I found myself glancing at her phone when she wasn't looking, hoping to catch a glimpse of something, anything that would either reassure me or confirm my fears. One evening, I decided to follow her after work. I wanted answers, and I was ready to get them, no matter how painful. I watched her leave the office, slip into her car, and drive through the bustling streets of Manhattan. She pulled up to a small, cozy cafe I'd never heard her mention. I parked nearby, keeping my distance but staying close enough to see. Jake was already there, waiting at a corner table. When Emily arrived, their faces lit up with a warmth I hadn't seen in a long time. They embraced, whispered softly, and shared coffee and laughter as if they were the only two people in the world. I felt invisible and shattered all at once. That night, my mind was filled with a storm of emotions: anger, confusion, heartbreak. When Emily came home, I tried to act calm, but the tension was unbearable. I asked her about Jake, about the cafe, about the strange hours. She smiled softly, saying Jake was just a friend, someone who helped her through tough times. But her eyes told another story, one full of guilt and secrets. Our conversations grew strained. The safe space we once shared disappeared, replaced by silence and distance. I wanted to believe her, to trust that she was telling the truth, but every instinct screamed otherwise. The more I uncovered, the heavier the burden on my shoulders. My mind replayed their secret meetings, every touch and every smile, and I wondered how long this had been going on behind my back. The woman I loved was slipping away, and I was powerless to stop it. Days passed like a slow, painful march. Emily's distance became a wall I couldn't climb over. She buried herself deeper into the gym routine, leaving home earlier and coming back later, always with a tired smile that didn't reach her eyes. Our conversations were brief, hollow echoes of what used to be. Every time her phone buzzed, my heart sank. Was it him again? One night, I stayed home sick, watching the clock tick as hours dragged. Emily returned later than usual, slipping inside quietly. Her phone lit up repeatedly, vibrating on the kitchen counter. I watched her face change, a flicker of guilt, a quick glance over her shoulder. When she locked the screen as I approached, I knew I was on the edge of something I wasn't ready for. That night, after she fell asleep, I couldn't resist. I grabbed her phone, hands shaking. This time, I wasn't just looking for proof. I was bracing myself for a truth that could break me completely. Scrolling through her messages, I found plans for secret meetings, whispers of stolen moments, and promises made in the shadows. There were pictures too, selfies of them laughing, close, touching. Their words were no longer casual. They were intimate, filled with longing and desire. The reality crashed over me like a tidal wave. Emily wasn't just flirting. She was involved in something I never imagined possible. My wife, my partner, had been living a double life, sharing herself with a man I barely knew. The betrayal felt like a knife twisting in my chest. I sat there in the dark, phone in hand, drowning in a storm of emotions. Anger burned fiercely, but underneath it all, a profound sadness settled deep inside me. I realized I couldn't live like this, trapped between suspicion and denial, love and heartbreak. I needed to confront her, to face the truth no matter how painful. Our marriage, our life together depended on it. The following day, I steeled myself and asked her to sit down with me. I showed her everything, the texts, the photos, the hidden plans. At first, she tried to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed. The loneliness, the stress, the temptation, all had pulled her away from me. I didn't know what the future held. Forgiveness seemed impossible, but so did walking away. The woman I loved had broken my heart, but she was still the woman I wanted to hold on to. Our story was no longer simple or safe. It was raw, painful, and uncertain. But it was real. That night when I finally confronted Emily, the air between us felt heavy, like the calm before a storm. I held her phone and laptop in my hands, the undeniable proof of her betrayal glowing on the screens. She looked at me with a mixture of shame and fear, eyes pleading but guarded. "It's not what you think," she whispered, but the silence said otherwise. I didn't scream or beg, I just sat there, feeling the world I built crumble piece by piece. The woman I trusted, who once shared every dream with me, had hidden a secret life. I questioned everything, our late-night talks, her sudden changes, the smiles that never reached her eyes. Days blurred into nights filled with silence and sorrow. Emily begged for forgiveness, promising she'd end things with Jake and work to rebuild what was broken. But trust, once shattered, doesn't mend overnight. I found myself torn between wanting to forgive and feeling betrayed beyond repair. I kept reliving every moment, the memories tinged now with doubt and pain. I wondered if I should stay or walk away. Could love survive a lie this deep? Was I strong enough to heal, or was this the end? I realized that healing starts with truth, no matter how harsh. The folder named Daniel had been replaced by messages from Jake, but the pain was the same. It forced me to face a difficult reality and consider my own worth. In the end, I decided to take time for myself, to find clarity before making any life-altering decisions. The future was uncertain, but I knew one thing: no matter what, I deserved honesty, respect, and peace. Would you have confronted her right away or waited? Could you forgive something like this? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out more stories like mine. Your support helps this channel grow and means everything.